Aaron Rodgers, the day that he decides to show up, the defense doesn't. I want the whole package. I want the whole thing this time.
I'll tell you what, Romeo Doubs is looking good. He is going to be wide receiver number 1 by the end of the season. Book it.
Dillon are going to be part of this. They're going to get a lot of catches this year. They're going to get even more. Jones already showed that he can handle a big load of catches.
9 different receivers had 90 or more yards, in the 7 games that Devontae was out.
He stuck with this team for so long. He said he wants to retire here. Why not just let it be? I mean,
hey everybody, this is Gerhard de Beer, former Green Bay Packer offensive lineman, and you're watching Frozen Tundra Network with Bill the Packer fan and Packer owner Nick. Enjoy.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the open mic Frozen Tundra, I guess we'll call it. Just a random open mic to talk about the breaking news through the NFL this week and whatnot. If anybody wants to call in, the phone lines are open tonight. We are definitely taking calls. The number is 872-216-9360. Call in with your take, whether it's a question or a comment. What's up, fellas? What you guys up to today?
What's going down, Bill?
Going up.
Nothing much, man. Nothing much. We're still waiting for the Aaron Rodgers saga to end. Still waiting. Is it ever going to end, or is this going to happen?
That's what I'm saying, man.
It was 87 years ago.
Yeah, it's going to be on March 15th at 6 in the morning, right before shit pops off. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, getting tired of waiting on this guy, man. It's getting to be old. I'm getting tired of the media hype.
You know that's his model, bro. He just wants to milk the shit to have everybody wondering, because he's like, I'm the cream of the crop, so everybody's watching me and figuring out what I got going on. He ain't lying halfway, but at the same time, ain't no point of dragging this shit out at this point.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. And then watching Mike over here comment, R.I.P. Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, he's just pissed off because Tom Brady decided to retire on his ass. Hey, Mike, you can actually call in tonight, Mike. So get your cell phone out and give us a call. And let's hear what you got to say about Tom Brady saying, fuck the Bucs. I'm retiring, man. I'd rather retire than be a Buck.
hell yeah.
So, hey, Ken, do you think the Bears are going to trade back that first pick again? They're going to go from number 9 and turn it in another pick or two?
Depends on what's on the board. I mean, really, it depends on what's on the board. If they think one of their top 3 isn't there at 9, then they may move back again. I mean, I think they've got an idea of what they want at 9. Let's say if they don't like what they see at 9, and they think versus trading something that'd be a reach, they may trade back for that if what they want at 9 isn't there.
So you'll think if they do trade back, it would happen on draft day, if anything.
Yeah, I think it'd be on draft day, if anything.
If Brandon Cooperville available at 9, then I think they'll move back.
Yeah. So what do you think, Jamez? Is Cook out of there or what?
I don't know. Hey, Bill, to be honest with you, bro, I'm starting to not think so, man, with the way the Vikings are playing and what they're saying about it. They basically just saying for the person that called the other day trying to get them, with their trade offer, they said they told them, like, we don't plan on trading them at this time. Now, I don't know if that's just due to the fact that the trade offer wasn't good enough.
Right.
But, I would expect him to be one of the next ones to take the goddamn domino effect, bro, just off where we're going. And, bro, we need the capital right now. Like I said, bro, I think we got 2 more reliable running backs on the roster, bro. We probably had to get Madison some money, but it damn sure ain't going to be Dalvin Cook type money.
So do you want him down there in Philadelphia? They're Eagles diva?
I already stated that we do not need Dalvin Cook. We do not need Dalvin Cook. What do we need him for? What do we need him for? What did he run? 40 yards a game this year?
Yeah, I think he's got one healthy season, I think.
Y'all would need him to take some of that pressure on Jalen Hurts, so he ain't got to be the running back.
Yeah. Oh, no. You remember we also have 2 picks. But also, we also have 2 picks, and we got some big boys anyway still. Fletcher can go about his business. You know what I'm saying? They can bring Davis in there. They can bring Dakota Dean in there. Like we got people, man.
Yeah.
So we don't need your trash. You can keep that shit where it's at.
It's all good. You don't need it until you need it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, well, when are y'all gonna use it? When is he gonna play? When is he gonna give you what y'all need from him? Before y'all continue to keep giving him money.
Shit, that's why he's on the chopping block he's on now. Shit, that's why he. That's
He's
where
not,
he's
but you did hold on, because you're contradicting yourself. Because you just said, ho. You contradict yourself because you just said, I don't think we're moving in that direction.
I said the Vikings. How I feel about it ain't got nothing to do with how the Vikings front office is going to treat it.
Yeah, but
so how am I contradicting myself?
He's gonna still take money and do nothing.
Yep, and sit his happy ass on the bench, unhealthy like he does every other season.
Exactly. Why you think they're not taking that risk? Why you think they playing the ball they playing with him? And his agent saying the shit they saying. But for a team
nobody
like
wants
Philly,
him.
but for a team like Philly that has a trash ass running back and Miles Sanders is about to go, it would make a perfect fit.
Okay, well, first off, ain't nothing trash about my team because the last time I checked, your team wasn't the one at the end. Right.
Hey,
let's talk about your trash ass quarterback. Let's talk about your trashy quarterback.
What's about quarterback? Let's talk about it. Let's
no,
talk
you're
about
trashy.
Let's talk about that trash ass defense that fell apart and got
my quarterback ain't trashy.
That defense with the business, Jamez.
A Viking fan saying defense is trash when he's sitting there at the bottom.
Unreal. Trash as the Vikings defense was, I guarantee you we'd have got at least one goddamn sack. Motherfucker, goddamn me. You want to talk? I'm talking. You can talk about all that big shit. I'm telling you right now, Dalvin Cook will be a game changer on the Philadelphia Eagles in a good way.
I agree, Jamez. I agree absolutely. I think what it comes down to is just money. Philly's got a lot of big contracts coming up.
He doesn't stay healthy, Greg.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you on that.
I don't know about that.
He doesn't stay healthy. Why do we want to take something we gotta keep fucking bubble wrap around just to keep him to fucking play?
I get you, Rebecca. Look, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think the bigger cause, though, is just money alone. The Eagles got a lot of big contracts coming up in these next couple of years.
Yeah, we got to pay Jalen.
Yeah,
we got people to pay. We got people that we need to keep. We're gonna end up getting rid of Slay, which is I think is bananas.
You think so?
You're doing the right thing.
Go
get
lay
rid of
the
him.
fuck down.
I think you're doing the right thing.
They are. They just put up the fucking shit. Like they're letting him go out.
Johnson?
They're letting him test the waters.
Yeah. Look, you're talking to a Lions fan. I know what Slay's capable of. Great player, a great energy, just a great role model for everyone on the team. But he's seen better days at this point, Rebecca. I think really, honestly, you guys have a couple really big free agents coming up, and if it came down to re-signing Bradbury,
we got some good picks also, and I think that's what they're.
I agree.
I think they're going to get a cornerback. I think that's why it's okay for them to do what they're doing because they're going to plan to draft the cornerback. Maybe that boy out of Texas.
I'll put it to you like this: if it came to re-signing Bradbury or letting go of Slay, I'd let go of Slay. I think Bradbury at this point in his career is the better corner.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
I doubt they would let both. I doubt they would let both walk. And they probably got C.J. Gardner-Johnson over there too.
Oh yeah, hell of a safety.
Dalvin Cook
is gonna end up? We want to keep C.J. though.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of free agency, and we gotta play this money correctly. Like this money has to come out because we really have to pay Jalen because and non-homerism, but if we were to make a run as we did this year, Jalen would be worth so much more money that we wouldn't be able to pay him next year.
Exactly.
We wouldn't get him.
And Rebecca, look what Daniel Jones just got. You think he ain't looking at all this shit? Like, look at these other motherfuckers getting paid.
Yeah.
Philly, they're not going to play in their ass too much about it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get back
I think they need to get off. I think Howie needs to get off his ass and go ahead and do what needs to be done.
So where's Dalvin Cook going to end up next year, Ken? Is he going to be on the Vikings
in
crying
the trash
like a
can.
bitch, or is he going to be in the trash, can? Is he going to be the starting running back for Philly and starting quarterback for Philly?
Cut it out.
I got a feeling he's getting caught. Probably, if not, he's getting traded for something very low.
Bag of Doritos.
Yeah, just because, like everyone was saying, health-wise.
Why are you gonna be a family-sized one?
How about you, John? Where do you think Dalvin Cook's going to be next year?
He's a dumpster, man. He's kicked aside. He'll be a third-string backup somewhere.
Jesus, John.
Damn.
Give him a little more credit.
How about you, Mike, the Bear fan?
I personally think he's going to be in Minnesota. I don't think they're going to cut him. That's $8 million in dead cap. I don't think they do it this year, possibly next year, because it drops to $3 million. So
okay, that's a good take right there. What do you think, Ken?
It depends on his health. I mean, he was healthier last year. He's been last two.
Yeah,
and he's still a back that can help a team out. So I mean,
yes, sir.
Hearing like Eagles fans, oh, he's trash. Well, he's better than anything you've got on your roster right now in Philly.
Yep.
At the running back position. You put, I mean, I'm sorry, you take
that.
any team in the NFL right now, you can say, hey, you could have Delvin Cook for a song. Any team out there would probably take him, except for maybe 3 or 4 teams, because Delvin Cook, he still makes defenses react to him. He's still a presence on the field.
He does, but he has to be healthy to do so.
he is under contract until 2025 too.
Yeah, I mean,
But,
it just,
yeah.
he hits the
It's
field,
not like
though.
it's short.
If he's on the field, that alone, his presence on the field alone makes defenses be different. And
Exactly.
wise,
Would you want him on the Bears? You got
No.
money. Would you want him on the Bears?
No.
if
So
I
is
was in
that
a
a yes
position,
or no, Mike?
no,
Is that
well,
a
no,
yes?
John, I'll answer that question. There's 2 ways to answer that. First way is way Mike just answered, correct way. No, because we're not, and here's why. And the second way to answer it would be yes, because we're in position to win a Super Bowl now, but we're not. So if I'm a team like Philly, who's in a position now, because they weren't the last team standing last year, they were the second to last team standing. So if I'm Philly and I'm in a position to win now, and Delvin Cook could help me get over that hump, I take on that 10, 12, 13, however big his contract is. He can get me over that.
They're broke, man.
It's only 8.6 million, bro. Only 8.6 million.
I mean, look what CMC did to San Francisco.
Yeah.
When CMC went to San Francisco,
you're right.
lost
Christian
one
McCaffrey
game
did.
the rest of the season into Super Bowl. And it was part of it was just his pure presence of being there.
Mhm.
Done. So until Delvin Cook is thought of as trash by defensive coordinators and thought of as a person who can't handle the rock, run a block, or break a big play, then he's like, if I'm Philly and I can get him for cheap, you'd be stupid not to take him.
Good points.
You're in a position to win a Super Bowl today.
That's cool.
Good points, Ken.
And to answer this comment, no, I don't think Devontae Adams will get released, but there is a good possibility he could get traded unless they get a quarterback for the future right away.
Yeah, I could see a trade in the right scenario.
Yeah,
If
I've
he
also
could-
heard Matthew Stafford's on the trading block too. They're shopping him around. Well, go ahead, Ken.
Mhm. Yeah, I heard that too. If he went there,
You're
they
real low.
could potentially be dangerous depending on how Josh McDaniels there decides to call plays.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah,
we all know about how his play calling can be.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might want to change some shit up.
Gonna have to. He's gonna have to.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, so how where are you guys at on the cap right now, Jamez? Are you guys anywhere near the positive or what? Are you still in a negative?
It's about like 5 million over or some shit. It's 5 point something
Oh,
million.
okay.
over.
You're like 700. You're
Six-
Let me
700.
million.
Let's pull it up.
6 million.
Let's pull it up because you
You're
cut
700.
fucking six. You cut 6
Yep.
million players. So let's see where you're at.
700.
more like try three motherfucker.
I know the Vikings are I know they need
All
one more
years,
big
like,
cut.
Hey, Bill, and we just restructured one of the linemen today too, so that might
So
that might
you're sitting at negative
do something.
7 mil. You're sitting at-
7.4 to
Yeah.
be exact.
Yeah.
Good. I didn't have to look it up.
Wow.
Negative. That's the red.
that
That's
sounds like
red
Yeah.
bad.
that sounds like one more player to me.
Yep. One more.
Two more.
Harrison Smith
Two
or
more.
Z.
You
Someone's
still
got to
get your
go.
draft- You gotta get your draft pick
Yeah,
money
and
too.
see, I'm wondering. I don't know, man. They say Harrison Smith's playing hardball. They say Smith's playing hardball in the negotiations. So
7.5 mil.
Well, I don't
Looks
see
like
him
you got
cutting
work
them.
to
That's
do.
11 mil.
All right, so you cut 16 players. So what do you got? 16 more to go.
Brian O'Neill gonna give some money back.
no, we're almost done with the walk the plank
Hey, you
stage.
see
We're
that?
almost done.
Okay, I want to get your reaction to this, Jamez. Okay, Kirk
What?
Cousins next year is making $5 million more than Aaron Rodgers. Do you see an issue with
Why?
that?
You keep beating this drum until you act like Bill. First
Stats
of all,
are
let me let you know
They don't
something.
lie.
Cousins is not even top 10 per annual salary, bro. You know where Aaron Rodgers is on that goddamn list? Number 1, buddy.
Wait, if I don't recall correctly, you were saying last season that Rodgers was overpaid, but now that it's broke
He's
back,
been overpaid his whole goddamn career.
it's all good.
His
You know
whole
what I
damn
mean?
career he's been overpaid.
See how that shit gets flip flop.
So you don't have me on record. Hold on. You don't have me on record saying Kirk Cousins is overpaid?
Yeah.
I've said that numerous times, bro.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, I just think you should really take up politics in your future because you flip flop pretty goddamn good, Bob.
Nice.
Rodgers has been overpaid his whole goddamn career.
Hey, here's what's going to happen with Minnesota. And my laptop's been acting slow, so it took me a minute to bring the stats up. Last year, Delvin Cook ran for 1,173 yards with a long of 81, 8 touchdowns, and an average still of 4.4 yards per carry. So to our Eagles friend who said he's trash, did anyone in the Eagles put that up last year? Number 2, he doesn't want to restructure his contract. Okay, fine.
Thoughts on that?
Bill, you and I know how GMs are. They can restructure the contract with leaving the money the same. They can convert this entire year into a signing bonus and free up all that cap space.
But that's what actually kills me, Ken. How can every other team do that, year after year? Like last year, Green Bay was almost negative 50 mil. They flipped it and ended up with 30 mil. But yet the Minnesota Vikings can't figure that shit out.
Look how many holes you got. Look at the season you're fresh off of. God damn it! You need to retool. You're about to lose somebody that's
we've been manageable to be competitive for the last 50 million freaking years. At some point, we're going to have to reload at the quarterback position.
Bill, why do you think we're doing what we're doing? We're going to have like top 3 money next year, but you're about to lose somebody that's responsible for half of the goddamn wins, bro.
Top 3.
This man's top 3 money
for 2024. You better look it up. You better see what we're doing.
I will. I'm not buying that.
Right for 4 years.
So,
bro,
is he saying
you're about to lose a player that is responsible for half the wins at least every year, bro. At least half the wins.
It says
So are we doing the fire sale?
It says for next year you'll have $120 million with 32 free agents.
Yeah, exactly.
Not even the top 10.
I said top 3 money, didn't I? 132 free agents, Bill. You're not at y'all.
That is number 13 on the list, Mr. Sports Fox News.
No, 30.
Thanks.
We do.
Thank you, Mike.
You not realize we just got fucking started with what we're doing.
You want to go ahead a little bit more, Darcy? We can go to 2025 if you like.
Oh, Jamez, you with the Darcy.
You're still hitting 13. Want to go to 2026 or you want to add another 10 years to that?
Just know, motherfucker, we're not going to have to take the route y'all taking.
A couple void years.
Yeah,
there,
2026, you rank in the top 7.
Nice.
Go, Jamez.
Yeah. Standing ovation.
You don't. I don't think you understand what projected cap space means, bro.
I do. I just told you. Unless you make moves, obviously it's going to change.
So the Vikings are done making moves. You know what they're about to do moving forward.
Yeah, it's calculated.
No, you don't. No, you do not.
Go over the cap. It keeps up with it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
No, you don't, bro.
2045, we're going to have $500 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, billion
with nobody under contract.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But I do distinctly remember Jamez saying earlier in the offseason, what are you going to do, Jamez, about all these people you got?
What did I say, Bill?
Everybody's going to take a pay cut. So far, everybody packed their bags up.
I said everybody. Bill, stop confusing me with the Minnesota troll. I never once said every goddamn. I wouldn't be foolish enough to say. Now there is
everybody's going to take a pay cut.
There is some people that I said would.
Now look, everybody lives next door to Ken Dobb before they're retired. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See how that is?
Yeah.
Not one person took a pay cut, not a single person. Everybody hit the eyebrow.
Even T1 didn't want to take a pay cut.
Bro, everyone was like, fuck this. I ain't going down with this sinking shit, bro.
This is what you need to understand, bro. We finally got a competent GM, and he's not fucking around with people, bro. I told you, why do you think he set the tone with Kenny?
That's what's going on. You got
last year.
Yeah.
Hey, John Doran, we got a question for you. It says, do you think Devontae Adams will get released?
Nope.
That dead cap is huge.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
No. Don't find a quarterback. Don't bring a quarterback in.
That's 31 million dead cap's not happening. He's not getting cut at all until 2026.
Well, now the Raiders and the Vikings are looking for a quarterback because Vikings still got Kirk Cousins. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Jimmy G will end up in Vegas.
Why are they?
I don't know. I think the Texans.
No, they said Texans are on him hot. Texans are on his ass.
But would you want to play for Vegas with that head coach?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Josh McDaniels, complete flop.
How come nobody's going after Lamar? What's going on with Lamar? Is there like a red flag on him, or what's going on?
No, bro. He wants too much of that money guaranteed over too much span of time.
With 2 first-rounders.
And he wants it over like a 5-year span.
Yeah, he wants all money up front, a lot of money up front.
Yeah.
He wants that Watson deal.
Yeah.
Well, and Lamar's own PR people being himself, whoever. It's kind of like one of those things, like just because you didn't get the contract you wanted doesn't mean it's racism and culture.
Yeah.
That was the first thing. Well, Lamar didn't get all that money up front. Oh, it must be racism and collusion. No, just no one is as stupid as the Cleveland Browns.
True.
Yeah.
I
mean, we know you're a good player, time and again.
But we know you're a good player, Lamar. But can you stay? How about this, Lamar? You stay healthy for an entire 17-game season plus the playoffs, and then maybe we'll consider it. But considering that the last 2 seasons you couldn't stay healthy for the whole season or even play in the playoffs, why am I going to guarantee you $250 million plus for 5 years?
Yeah.
Well,
you're going to be out of the league.
Yeah, but really, that's something Minnesota would do. I mean, Minnesota's, they're gullible like that.
Really?
I know you like to pick on the Vikings for Cousins, but in all honesty, once you put your homerism aside, Cousins has been worth every penny Minnesota. He's done what Minnesota paid him to do.
All right, Ken, we're gonna have to pull your Bears fan card. For
That's a great take.
He's been a top 7 quarterback in this league, buddy.
Do you think that the Vikings actually drafted good last year?
Ooh, good question.
I can't. No, it wasn't the best draft. But what I will say is, if Lewis Steen and Andrew Booth Jr. come back and play pretty good for this defense this year, it will still pan out. You guys think, man, we're still cleaning up Spielman's mess around this motherfucker. Why do you think we're in the situation we're in, man? This new GM, he knows what's going on. But I'm telling you, no, that's not how we're rocking it, John.
Okay.
Hey, let me jump in here real quick on that, John. So look, I do not like what the Vikings did last year. They and this is something that the Bears got to keep an eye on. You cannot keep trading back out of getting an impact player. The Vikings absolutely dropped the ball on that last year. I don't know what Kwesi's idea was, trying to be the smartest man in the room or something, but they absolutely took themselves out of drafting an impact player. They missed out on JMO, Kyle Hamilton, multiple people with that 12th pick. Trade back to the last pick in the first round. They miss out on Christian Watson, who would have been absolutely amazing with Justin Jefferson. You just can't do that. Last year's Vikings draft class was rated dead last by NFL.com, and deservedly so. It was a terrible draft class. Kwesi's got some stuff to prove this upcoming year. And you look at it, and the cap situation that the Vikings are in, we can candy coat this all we want, but this is not addition by subtraction. You do not lose key players like this and expect for things to get better. This is going to be a humbling year for the Minnesota Vikings. They will not win 13 games. They might be in the mix in this division just because it's kind of mediocre. But let's be real here. You do not lose key players like Kendricks and Thielen and just draft someone and get that production. And that leadership. It's not going to happen.
Sullivan's gone.
You got some thoughts on that, Jimenez? You want to respond?
You got to ask yourself, is those pieces alone enough for what y'all got to overtake it? I don't think so. Not yet, I don't. Hey, Greg, this is where I will give some agreements to you on that, because just off the fact that Kyle Hamilton was right there, and he was winking at us, and that we didn't strike, bro. That's the kind of move. Like I said, I understood the move we made with Detroit, but when we made the move with the Packers to get Watson, I still don't understand that one to this day.
Yeah,
I think
back-to-back trades with division rivals. Are you kidding me? Like, I've never seen anything like that in draft history. That was absolutely mind-blowing right there.
I mean, this is your fucking list. Now listen to this list that I fucking came up.
We had the
this
bargain
is your
bin,
fucking
man.
team, dude. This is your team that's gone. Listen to this. Thielen's gone. Tomlinson's gone. Hendricks is gone. Peterson is gone. Branberry. Joseph. Mullins. Sullivan.
How the fuck is Joseph is not gone, dude?
I mean, come on, half your fucking team is gone, dude.
That's a lot of impact players. John's right. That's a lot of impact players.
Hey, so you forgot
Bro,
one
you just
person,
named
Dory.
4 players that aren't even about to leave the damn
Dude,
team.
you forgot the main part of everything you just said.
Thielen.
The playoffs are gone.
The playoffs are gone, yeah.
The playoffs been gone for you. Hey, when Jordan Love and Jessica Love get under there, you motherfuckers aren't gonna be thinking playoffs. Bro, Bill, it's gonna be real soon. Y'all gonna be begging for a Kirk Cousins type caliber quarterback around that motherfucker. Real
But
soon,
speaking of key players, hey Greg, what about Jamal Williams?
Ooh, we'll get to that later. We'll get to that later.
Okay, since Rob's just joined in, let's ask him the question. Where do you think Dalvin Cook ends up next year? Minnesota or somewhere else? And if somewhere else, where?
Well, I've been the guy that's unpopular because I've been saying they should trade him ever since last year. He's either needs to be he's not going to take a salary cut. He's already said that. His agent said that. So it's either a trade or a release. Of teams that are willing to trade for him, I don't know anybody that's putting a premium on a running back right now.
Exactly.
Other 31 teams. I think he gets released. And I mean, let's think about this. Who needs everybody basically has their starting string running backs lined up, really, for you think about it. I don't even know, man.
Miami's a good chance.
Hey, and if you can pick, you remember what Ken said, bro, and it was a good ass take. He said, "Look at all these teams that are making it far, bro, and doing this shit and getting it popping with their offense. They're like he said, they're running back like by committee, bro. You don't even know some of these guys' names."
Mm-hmm.
So Rob, you're telling me that the Vikings will release him and eat that $8 million
and the 1,100 yards of rushing he produced last year?
No, for real though. For real.
What a huge! I mean, running backs are supposed to put up 1,100 yards. I mean that's kind of the standard. Is you achieve 1,000 yards or better. That's the game plan is clearly not to feature Dalvin Cook anymore in Minnesota. Justin Jefferson is what is featured, and the offense is going to run through him. So yes, we would eat like $8 million if he was released and everything in dead cap money. That number goes down a lot if you trade him. I've seen over the past basically 72 hours that there is a trade partner that's interested with Minnesota. And even if Minnesota doesn't get jack shit and a bag of footballs just for the cap or the dead cap money, they might just take whatever trade offer they get too.
Well,
you don't know.
Good point, Rob.
Give me a fifth rounder. Give me a fifth rounder, damn it.
There you go. Yeah.
Sure. I mean,
I like to squeeze for a fourth. I like to squeeze for a fourth, but I wouldn't get budgy. I wouldn't get pushy.
People forget Dalvin Cook was not a first round pick or anything. And when you look at trading, even when you're on your second contract or whatever, people still look at where, this is a former first round pick or a former second round pick. The compensation you're going to get for a guy that was originally a second round pick, upper rounds of that second round, you're not going to get people thinking they're going to get a second round or third round. No, I think fourth round is where you're looking.
Yeah,
I'd take a fifth.
Just not that contract rankings at 4 overall.
I'm sorry, what?
That contract ranking, it's at 4th overall for running backs.
Yeah, and I think if they do end up pulling off a trade, there's no way that the gaining team is going to let that contract stand. I guarantee you.
No, I'm with that, but you never said anything about trade in the beginning. That's why I said just plain out cutting them. I don't see it happening. That's $8 million.
No, we don't get much. We don't get much if we cut them.
Here's why. Because look at last year. Last year, the Minnesota Vikings rushed as a team for 1,661 yards, of which over 1,100 of those belong to one man, Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, and
98% of your rushing offense is Dalvin Cook. So,
and if Dalvin Cook was injured like he has been every other year, we've seen Madison go in and have 180-yard games.
Yeah, great point,
and
Rob.
Stuff like that. Granted, Madison is a free agent right now, but if you restructure, hold on, can I finish?
Fire sale in Minnesota is what I'm hearing from you.
I don't think it's that bad.
Anyways, I'm for it. The team needs to get younger. As much as the fans, some of the fans might have hurt feelings about Kendricks and Adam Thielen and possibly Harrison Smith, Dalvin Cook. If you actually watched all the Vikings games last year, he had about 4 or 5 really explosive plays. The rest of the time, they're sitting there in a 3rd and 4th, needed a first down. They handed it to him and ended up punting. That's what we all saw all year. Hand it to Dalvin. He's tackled for a 3-yard loss. Hand it to Dalvin. He's stuffed the line of scrimmage. I think his change of scenery would help him. Yeah. I think even whether we bring Madison back or not, with Ty Chandler, Keenan Gwangu, and everybody, they're nowhere near the player Dalvin is. Well, you've never seen him play either. Yeah. They haven't had their opportunity.
Exactly.
I mean, as a
give
team,
them the opportunity.
As a team last year, looking at the rushing, you guys rank in the very, very bottom of the league, right? So, I mean, obviously you have a rushing issue. It's not all just Dalvin Cook because he still put up over 1,100 of your 1,600 yards. He put up over 1,100 of it. You guys were in the last quarter. Last 7/8. I mean, you're at the very, very bottom of the NFL in rushing. So it's not Dalvin's your issue. It's you've got O-line issues as far as running the football. Like the Bears O-line sucks when it's pass protection, but they could protect the rush for running the football. They open up holes. The Vikings are the opposite. They cannot open holes. They cannot support a run game with your current O-line. So even without Dalvin Cook, I mean, as a team, you guys 4.1 yards per carry. Dalvin was at 4.6 himself. So that means no one else was getting it done either last year when you had him in the game as a running back.
Your take, not to mention they were rolling with Cook. That's why they did the contract until 2025. So
you guys,
I think
you guys
is a Viking and Madison. He's going to go.
You guys' take would be valid if it wasn't actually a fact that the O-line run blocking was graded higher than their pass blocking last year. I'm not kidding.
We were there. They were like middle of the pack for run block, bro.
So, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Look, I think there's validity to both Ken and Rob's statement. I think what it really comes down to, you guys, is in this hard salary cap in the NFL, it always comes down to money. You look at the running backs and how successful systems are set up. Dallas, San Francisco, and begrudgingly Green Bay. The split back system is where it's going. It's just the direction it's heading. Paying for a premier back in the NFL, you just look at the contracts over the last several years. Zeke Elliott, he's not even running back one anymore. CMC ends up getting traded because he was always injured. Let's see here. King Henry looks like he's on the block. Paying premier back money in a hard salary cap league just is not with the business anymore. You need to be able to limit these guys' snaps so you don't wear them down in their career.
Right. And here's something, Greg. Greg. Exactly. You want your big back. You want your scat back. That's your fast guy. Whether you have Alexander Madison or the guy is Ty Chandler, there's your big back. And you could also work a restructure on CJ Ham. Everybody says he's going to get cut. He's only worth like $3 million. Restructure him. You got your big ass Bruce and fullback. And then Keenan Gwangu is like the second fastest, if not the fastest guy in the team. He hasn't been given a chance in his first 2 years, outside of, being an outstandingly good kick returner. I mean, he housed one last year, housed two of them the year prior. Let's see what he can do for that change of pace back as a speed back. Because you got a couple big guys. And like you said, running back by committee. Did anybody know who Pacheco was before the Kansas City Chiefs?
No one knew who Pacheco was. I promise you that.
Yeah. Pacheco came out of nowhere, Zadarius Smith.
True, but Kansas City didn't have that elite running back.
Let's just talk about Zadarius. He asked for a release because the last 2 years of his contract is not paying him what he wants. He wants more money.
Hey Rob, I'm starting to think the Green Bay fans are right about his ass, bro.
Yeah,
and the team
dealing with a real emotional fella here.
There is no money to pay him unless they do a restructure on him as well. So he could probably go, as far as I'm concerned.
He already said he's out of here, man. He's
out of here. And to touch on, I actually really feel bad for
bags and them out.
Yeah, I really feel bad for Minnesota Vikings fans. Look, man, it is what it is. You signed a contract. Honor that. Don't be saying you didn't get enough money and you're worth more than that. That is so tacky. And like Rob just touched on, like, how are you going to back out of a deal that you signed, that you put your John Hancock on, and all of a sudden say, "Oh, I'm worth more than this"? I think Packers did the right thing letting that young man go, and I think it's the Vikings' problem now.
You're talking to a Packer fan. We deal with Aaron Rodgers every year. That's under contract.
No shit, right? Good point, Bill.
Well, not only that, Darius disappeared the whole back half of the year.
So are we saying the Vikings are actually rebuilding now, or what?
called reloading.
We're not saying anything. When Kwesi took over and Kevin O'Connell took over last year, they said it was going to be a competitive rebuild. I think 13 wins far exceeded everybody's expectations. Now you're more like reality because we knew that eventually, and it was going to be this year or next at the very latest, depending on how far they kick the can, that the defense was full of older players that had contracts that weren't lining up with what their current performance was.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
With a lot of
it doesn't mean that you don't love a guy that's been around for 8-9 years like Kendricks or 9 years like Thielen on the offensive side of the ball. But
I've already said whenever they aren't playing the Vikings, I'll be rooting for their ass.
So,
That's right.
Who knows who the Jets have at running back right now?
Brees Hall and I think Robinson's a free agent this year, but they got Brees the Beast, man.
In this scenario, the Jets are at 160 million in cap space right now. They have the most in the league after today's moves, according to Sports Track.
Well, I think that's because they're trying to get Rodgers.
Absolutely, 100%.
50 million of that is Rodgers,
right?
What he's supposed to be making this
year.
Right.
I get that, Rob, but let me finish out what I'm thinking because it always take the Rodgers thing being 50 million. What if also they're the team trying to trade for Dalvin Cook because they're a team that they're trying to get right now.
I don't know, Ken. Brees Hall was in the running for Rookie of the Year last year before he went down. I think he is a great back. You get a change of pace back in there too for much cheaper than having to get a Dalvin Cook. Just my opinion, though.
That's a valid.
Greg, he was probably on his way to winning that motherfucker if he didn't go down.
Agreed, wholeheartedly. His teammate got it instead.
A lot of Vikings fans are irritated with the moves that they've been making. To me, the worst thing that's happened the entire offseason was Bud Grant passing away this morning. That actually hurt.
Hey, Rob. Hey, Lori gave me a tongue. She gave me a tongue lashing about Adam Thielen the other day.
I'm looking at cap space on Sport Track live, right? The live numbers. So, okay, if I'm looking for Dalvin Cook, I need to have cap space, but I need to be a contender. Because I don't think a non-contending team is going to make a trade for Dalvin Cook, right?
Exactly.
More than likely not.
So the number one would be, sticking out would be the Jets because right now they're at 160 million pre-Rodgers.
Can they afford him with Rodgers though? They could do both.
Yeah, they could do both. They got 160.
How many other free agents of their own do they have to resign this year, though? Or who do they have to retain? I know they're a younger roster.
They're a younger roster.
How many
they don't have much.
Do they have, or unrestricted free agents and restricted free agents, or do Jets have right now? Does that tell you on that?
No, it doesn't.
I could tell you, following the Jets situation, that they don't have much out there. I think who is it? Cam Robinson. Their back number 2 is a free agent. I think they're going to restructure CJ Mosley if they haven't already. That team is pretty much set up to go. All they really essentially need is a right guard. They got Vera Tucker coming back healthy. They got their left tackle, Mekhi Becton, coming back. That team is literally just a quarterback away from competing.
Yeah, I seen they restructured Tyler Conklin too.
The next team on the list with cap space would be Cincy, but Cincy doesn't need a running back, right? I think we can agree.
Mixon's a free agent, isn't he?
Didn't Mixon just?
Yeah, I think Mixon's a free agent, and I don't think they re-signed him.
Yeah, and he got in that trouble with the police. That's still yet to see the outcome.
They need them.
Or was he not charged?
Go ahead, Ken.
So you got after Cincy. Now, Denver, if they think last year was a fluke, they're at number 8 with 33 million left, so they can make a run at it. The Pats have a good young running back, I think, so no need to go there. The Dolphins actually have 29 million in cap space. I could see Miami as a team that's on coming up. They could definitely benefit from Dalvin Cook. They got 29 million, and really, you think about it, their wide receivers under contract. They're looking though to give 2 an extension, so I don't know how much that's going to eat.
And that's where Dalvin grew up too.
Yeah,
that's a match made in heaven. He did a nice structure with Tyreek Hill too.
What if Dalvin Cook ends up in Detroit and they say he's Jamal Williams?
At 12
main event, Mike. What's your thoughts on that? Dalvin Cook in Detroit.
At this point, Jamal Williams is performing better than Dalvin Cook.
I would agree on that.
Want him.
I mean,
more reliable.
Williams was going to have one on payday, though. Williams wants payday. He hasn't got paid.
Yeah.
He wants a payday. He wants money.
He he was asked
the Cowboys
he was asked to save his
the
team from
49ers.
cap hell, or to at least help and do his part and take a restructure to help out. And what did he say, Jamez?
Hey, shit, his agent said, hell, if only the Vikings knew how to call run plays.
He's right. He's right. Dalvin's agent's talking shit, and it's like
I really didn't appreciate that. I wish I could have responded to him on that.
Well, here's the deal. The GM and the coach said, get ready because there's going to be a major change of philosophy in Minnesota. It's for the first time in a long time not going to be based on the run. And you saw that last year. Justin Jefferson is the guy now. Dalvin Cook ain't. Dalvin Cook's butt hurt. He won't take a pay cut. His agent's talking shit. You know what?
Yeah.
Send him packing. Fuck it.
Yeah, I'd trade him off.
I would too. This team runs around Justin Jefferson. Literally, you could bring in a mid-tier back, you guys, or like a day 3 pick running back if you guys don't re-sign Madison, and he should get good production just based on Jefferson and Hawkinson getting all the attention from defensive coordinators.
I wouldn't spend a damn penny. I would use the 3 freaking backs you already got on the roster plus your fullback. And
there you go.
Yeah.
I wouldn't spend a damn penny.
All he said, he just
I
wants
wouldn't
to be
draft
number 1 back, bro. That's all Madison
But
wants.
you can always trade from Bears. Good get Justin Fields for running back. I mean,
John.
And we'd have another premier running back.
I'm going to ignore John's comment because, like I said, Dalvin's going to be traded. He's going to be traded to a team that's probably thinking they can win now. An interesting idea. I think we kind of hit the big ones already. The Giants have 18 mil. Now, obviously, they've Saquon, but a Saquon Delvin combo in the backfield could be kind of interesting.
Wow.
Now, Ken, that segues into another question. Yeah. Because with the moves you guys have made and the draft picks you got coming up and what you're able to do, I'm telling you right now, do you feel like the heat is on year 3 on Justin Fields? Because I can name 28 to 31 other quarterbacks who would fucking love to have the offensive weapons that Fields now has to throw ball to.
It still comes down to protecting.
And look at all the draft capital and money you guys have to get that offensive line fixed.
So Mike and I talked about this last night, and a lot of us on talk last night on Open Mic. Right now it comes down to, okay, does polls address the needs? And I think I've already seen multiple reports that we're going all in on Brown. Okay, so that's 1 tackle down.
Orlando Brown?
Yeah. So if we get Orlando Brown, we pull up another offensive lineman.
Be solid.
The offense is going to be taken care of. Then as far as winning games, it comes down to fixing the defense. Because, look, even if we fix the offense, let's go back to the Adam Gase year in Chicago with, Cutler, Marshall, that offense that was number 2 in the league with the worst defense. And, they put up 35 and give up 48. The Bears are going to be in that position if they don't fix. They have work on both sides. But I don't think it's as much on Fields as it's first on Poles. It's on Poles to fix the O-line and protect Fields. If he gives Fields adequate protection, now it's on Fields to perform. But his QBR doubled last season. He's completing over 60% of his passes. And Mike and I were talking last night, afterwards, if you look at the Bears tape from this year, look how many balls were dropped. There were a lot of drop balls from those receivers who are no longer Bears. So I don't think the pressure is much on Fields as on Poles to provide him that first.
Ken, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I've got to disagree with that, man. So look, I'm not going to say that. Look, I've heard in a lot of these Bears groups as an undercover Lions fan, love it. But I see a lot of them expecting Jalen Hurts type production. Look, you guys just aren't there yet, and I understand what you're saying that you grab a couple offensive linemen and then you work on defense. I think you guys, and this is no shade, you guys have so many holes. To be able to fix it all in one draft is just asking too much.
The holes are basic.
That being said, I do expect Justin Fields to take that next leap next year. And if he doesn't, I actually commend the Bears on this. You guys are in a good position. If he doesn't, I know you don't want to hear this. If he doesn't take that next step next year, you guys are in a great position to move up and get someone with your 2 first-round draft picks. I think it was a great insurance policy. Go ahead.
That's true, Chris. That's big insurance policy.
Yeah.
Respond, Ken. Go ahead.
I got a question, Ken.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's get to this topic first.
Well, this is tied in with this. Now that you've traded down to what is it, number 9 that Carolina was at? If Jalen Carter does do this slide, are you going to fix a lot of your problems? Because you brought up that defense. Are you going to fix a lot of your problems by stopping that slide and grabbing Jalen Carter?
They're at 9. Look at.
He's not going to be there at 9.
Things at once here. If he drops to 9, he's a Bear. They'll take him at 9.
I would.
I think he might, man.
Bears going to take a quarterback at 9.
Okay, and
well, for all the needs that you're saying the Bears needs, all they need is really
the crowd jumping. Oh my God! So, Greg, you say the Bears have so many holes. No, they don't. Here are the Bears' holes: O-line, D-line, 1 linebacker, 5 to 6 players.
I mean, depth everywhere. Like, Ken, I'm not knocking you, man. I've gone over your roster. I'm not just some ho-hum Detroit Lions fan. Look, I've been a PFF subscriber for over a decade, man. And when it said team needs, this is the first time I've ever seen this. It said team needs for the Bears, and it said literally no positions. It just said everything. Literally, you guys need depth everywhere, man. And it's not enough.
I do mock drafts all the time, and
Bears
it's
have enough
true.
cap space. The Bears
Yeah,
have enough
I
cap
agree.
space. We can sign the top 3 offensive linemen and spend maybe $35 million of the $75 million we got left on just.
Yeah.
And now you've got an All-Pro O-line all of a sudden. You've already got a better wide receiving room now. You have DJ Moore going with Claypool and Mooney, right? The running back situation. It's a little worrisome. I figure we'll draft something in the 2nd, 3rd round and get some decent production there. The biggest need to fix after that becomes your D line, because our defensive back situation's good. Our linebacker situation, I would say, is decent.
I like your secondary. Yeah, I like your secondary.
Our linebacking core right now, I'd say, is decent. We need 1 good linebacker to go with Morrow and Sanborn. Of course, once again, I'm assuming we re-sign Morrow, and then we need 2 edge rushers and one interior, and then that team is it's a completely different team than what you saw last year.
All right, so can we agree that was quite a laundry list of needs right there? And let's be real here too, man. For the offensive line thing, look, man, it takes time to gel and get chemistry, man. You don't just plug and play with offensive line. You're going to see some ups and downs, man. Even if you grab top end free agents.
I'm not saying fans. We've seen it. We juggled linemen all last year, except for one person. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Hey,
but
I want to
they go get 2 offensive linemen and 2 defensive linemen. That pretty much, I'm not saying seals the deal, but that definitely helps for most of the holes, for sure.
And Greg, I'm not saying, here's the thing, and here's going to be the problem. Greg, you're 100% absolutely right. Here's going to be the problem. We're going to go out and get Orlando Brown, and we're going to get 2 other stud O-linemen from the free agent market because it's stocked, right? And then let's say we get Carter at 9. You know what? The Homer Bear fans are, oh my God, we're going to win. Well, you know what? That O-line we won't know how good that O-line is till week 6, 7, or 8.
Exactly.
So
can I say something?
That's why even if we do all these things and we fix these needs, let's say that we think we need fixed this year, I still think we're a 9-win team, borderline.
Ooh.
All right, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, thanks, man. And I apologize for the way it looks in here. I'm over Aaron Rodgers' house. First of all, I'd like to say congratulations to Mike and to Ken, because your team absolutely fleeced the Carolina Panthers.
Yes, sir.
I mean, the draft picks, you probably could have got that from a handful of other teams in the league for that pick. But to get DJ Moore, who brings over 5,000 yards, and he's under 26 years old, that is a cherry on top, and man, nice work by Ryan Poles. And it's a great fit for DJ Moore. He's used to crappy quarterback play. So
don't forget to mention
I think he's going to feel right at home there in Chicago. And I love, and Ken, I hope everything you predicted comes true. I hope they do draft an over-the-hill, or not draft, but they acquire an over-the-hill Orlando Brown to come in there and play in some shitty weather in a shitty stadium to close out his career, because I'm sure that's what all aging veterans that just won a Super Bowl want to do, is they want to come and play in Chicago. So, good call, brother. I hope that happens.
Oh, shit.
Hey,
I love it.
I gotta run here after just a little bit, but I want to ask a question to John, to Ken, and to Bill here. So let's say it just for shit's sake that Rodgers does get traded, you guys are rolling with Jordan Love. What is the top in your top 3 picks that you're taking in the draft, whether you trade down or you do whatever? What 3 positions are you addressing, or what 3? What are you looking for your draft this year? Or your top positions that you have, like let's say rounds 1 through 3.
Well,
Are you Googling it, Ken?
I'll go first. What I like to see is us get a wide receiver, go get a tight end, and a pass rush. I don't care what order, but just get 3 of those in the first 3 picks.
Good call, John.
We need a pass rusher. We need a wide receiver, and I want even a safety. If Branch is there at fucking 15, take him. You know what I mean?
Good name.
Yeah. I would much rather get a safety, or not safety, a wide receiver in free agency. Yeah. And would you want to get a pass rusher, safety, or tight end in the first 3 rounds?
Bears.
Good call.
So I think for the Bears, a lot of it's predicated on what we do Monday through Wednesday. But I would say in the top 4 picks is as far as I'll go. I think in the top 4 picks, I would not be surprised to see a running back in there somewhere, and then the rest of it's going to be in the trenches.
Hey, Ken, tell me who Carolina sold on, man. Who are they doing all this for, man? Tell me the guy that they're going number 1 with, man.
Jabez, that's what I'm saying. I seen a report saying that they opened the trading out.
I think Richardson might have won some people over at that combine, man.
Yeah.
Why do you do it so early?
Bryce Young will be the number 1 pick to the Panthers. Come on.
Bryce Young.
Anybody disagree with that?
I think CJ Stroud. I really do. I think he is the most complete and accomplished quarterback, in my opinion.
Either Stroud or Young, probably.
I will say one of those two.
The number 1.
Also, okay, follow-on question, John Dorn. Do you understand that if the Green Bay Packers in round 3-ish are the ones that draft Sam Laporta from Iowa as a tight end, I will find you and I will take the aggression out on you. It's going to be painful.
Well, hope he doesn't go down round 3, because every time we pick at 3, they always suck. So
he's projected late second.
He might get in a couple years. So
if we end up with 2 first-rounders this year, we better get a defensive end and a tight end for sure.
You might end up with 13 and 15.
This draft is so deep at tight end, Bill. You're going to get
They might not do
that's
13.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
you
there's
could sit there.
15 in the top 100 right now.
Yeah, you could sit there in round 3 and grab Sam Laporta, who is really, in my opinion, a high second, low first round talent that is down in the 3rd round because of extreme poor quarterback play at Iowa the past 2 years.
If you look at the tight ends in the
he's a vertical threat, ain't he, Rob?
If you look at the depth at tight end and the DBs, you got guys who 2 years ago would have been like 1st and 2nd rounders.
Yes, sir. Good call.
3rd and 4th rounders now. It's so deep. And oh, by the way, Orlando Brown is only 26 years old. So he's not an aging old.
Junior for a reason. Find that real quick.
Junior for a reason.
Yeah.
Have you guys also noticed in this draft, a lot of the linebackers are not in the 1st round? There's a shit ton of good linebackers, but they're all like start round 2 through 4. There's tons of them.
Rob,
you noticed that, Greg?
What it is, Rob, is the linebacker is slowly becoming the defensive equivalent of running back. You look at a lot of these teams now; they're running nickel-based formations. So the point of having 3 linebackers, if you're originally designated a 4-3, a lot of teams are just running 4-2-5s now because there's way too many pass catchers out there on the field, man.
True.
And further, I think the Bears really showed the league, or showed you what the league is thinking, because we got rid of Roquan, and what was his replacement? An undrafted
Jack Sanborn. Great story. Hell of a pickup, man.
Who actually performed better than Roquan did before they cut him.
Hey, Rob,
$20 million.
Yeah.
If Joey Porter Jr. slides down to the 23, do you think we got to strike and grab him?
Oh, hell yes. So the latest mock, I've done a couple mocks after the Bears trade. I've been able to trade with the Cowboys to trade down to number 26 and pick up about 3 other picks that are 4th and 5th rounders, mainly 5th. I've consistently been able to draft at 26 Deonte Banks and then turn around in the 4th round and get Tre'Davious Hodges Tomlinson from TCU as well. 2 really good quarterbacks, graded out as an A plus on the list.
So your spare time, you just do a bunch of mock drafts.
Hey, Rob, real quick. Hey, have you guys not learned from trading with the fucking Cowboys? Jesus Christ, Herschel Walker, bud. Let's not do that anymore, man. No need to trade with the fucking Cowboys, bro.
We're still trying to get that reverse Herschel Walker, you know.
Clearly.
It's not even that if you throw
Hey,
shit
but
at
no, I
the
think the
wall.
Lions might snake us and grab Joey Porter, man. I think they might try to snake us on that.
I love the kid.
A lot of people have Pittsburgh drafting Joey first chance they get.
And it makes sense.
Yeah.
Ken, it makes sense. It makes absolute sense, Ken, that he'd go
I
there.
have to add a note to our earlier conversation. I just noticed this. The New York Jets may have $160 million in cap space. They only have 10 players under contract right now.
Oh, shit.
You know what?
You mean next year? You mean next year?
According to Sport Track, it says signed. The number for the New York Jets is 10.
Okay, are you like? Did you click on 2024 or something? Because I can name their. I can give you 10 players right now that are signed just off the rookie class last year.
Ken's smoking that album back, buddy.
Hey, Jamez, I got to fire one back
That's
at
got to
you.
be a typo. I'm hoping that's a typo.
It's got to be. It's got to be.
I got to fire one back at Jamez real quick. If we stay at 23 and Zay Flowers, wide receiver, Boston College, is actually still there and isn't gone, do we pull the trigger on that?
Oh,
hey, if him or that kid from USC, I was Richards,
Addison,
if him or that kid's there, we might just have to do it, bro. We might just have to just go so crazy. Fuck it, we don't need running backs around here. We don't need running backs.
Look, look, my Vikings friends. Look at obviously. Why don't you guys just do this? Cut Delvin Cook, cut Kirk Cousins. Give Lamar Jackson $250 guaranteed over 5 years.
Oh, don't do that, Ken. I want Lamar in the division. Don't do that.
And you think people are mad about Cousins getting paid $35 million a year? If we gave Lamar, that's insane, man.
Hey, Ken, they would have to send Huntley too. They'd have to send Huntley too as an insurance package, damn it.
Speaking of Lamar, didn't we just get done saying running backs weren't getting paid anymore?
Are you talking about the under contract?
With that, I'll be seeing you guys.
Man, we can all just blame the Giants for this madness. Because
oh my God, I can't believe they folded.
That's bad.
He's Danny.
I didn't think the Giants were going to fold like that, man.
Yeah, that's unreal.
That just shows you it's hard to get a quarterback that's worth something right now, man.
Yeah.
Is he worth that much money, really?
No.
I would take $10 million off.
But that now you're seeing the new graded weighted salary scale for anybody that's considered a starting quarterback that's not on a rookie contract.
Man.
I mean,
insane.
I would if I look at what Danny Dimes just got in New York, Kirk Cousins is a fucking steal.
Yeah, I agree.
Imagine how Jalen Hurts and guys like him are licking their damn chops seeing that.
Oh my God. Yeah, no shit, right?
Hey, how about I get $60 million a year guaranteed?
Yeah,
I mean,
right. I want every dime. Yeah, the Browns started this. They fucked it up with. I can't. I mean, they started it messed up. Then when Kyler Murray's little midget ass got paid like that, I'm telling you, bro, they're messing the game up, man. But it is making Kirk Cousins seem a little bit more, and guys like him and that, like Jared Goff and guys around in that range, a little bit more valuable in the league. Because Derek Carr, could you imagine Derek Carr being I would never imagine Derek Carr being a high start-off commodity on the offseason where teams are just lining up at his feet to grab him, bro. But at this point in time, you got to strike, man.
Quarterbacks are premium.
Despite the fact that Minnesota, in one way, shape, or form, has to get another quarterback on the roster this year because we only have 2. If Kirk goes down, we have no backup for Mullins. Despite that fact, part of me wants to grab a guy that's not going to be able to play until next year, and that would be Hendon Hooker.
Hendon Hooker. Good call. Good call, Rob.
If there's a way that they could just get a guy to be that third guy in case it's ever needed for be a backup, and you can gamble on that. Cousins doesn't miss games. Very rarely.
Yeah,
you can gamble on that. Get Hendon Hooker there. You may only get a 5-year, 6-year run out of Hendon because he's like, what, 27 or something like that? He's older. But shit, I would love to see him be ready in 2024.
Hey, when was the last time Cousins missed a game when he had COVID, right?
COVID, that's why he missed the last 2 games. COVID.
Yeah, yeah.
Kirk Cousins. It was 2 years ago. COVID.
I mean, but I don't think he missed it. He played like 7 straight years without missing a game before that.
Derek Carr and Kirk Cousins, dollar for dollar, though, have been worth their contracts everywhere they've gone.
I agree.
I think so.
Cousins doesn't cost Minnesota games. I mean, we saw last year, the last 2 years, the defense was costing Minnesota games.
Pretty much
Derek Carr, was not the problem in Las Vegas.
Exactly. Let you throw 3 yards instead of 8.
The year before that, Derek Carr was literally the only person in the building who understood John Gruden's offense. And when John Gruden got fired, he ran that team in the playoffs. So guys like Carr and Cousins have been worth every penny they've gotten paid. They're actually true value at quarterback, which is which means
I agree.
Speaking of
fans sounds crazy, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
Speaking of non-value, what in the fuck is Arizona doing other than sucking and then making moves to suck worse?
The Cardinals are a mess right now, man. Absolute mess. They'll definitely go ahead.
No, go ahead, Gerd. Go ahead.
No, you look at the Cardinals and everything that's going on with the Rams. To think that the Cardinals could still finish behind the Rams, even though the Rams look like they're in a fire sale, shows you the state of that franchise and what is going on there. They are now stuck with a franchise quarterback who for the last 2 years cannot play for shit in the second half of the season. They're losing DeAndre Hopkins. Like, where do you even start with that? They got some good young pieces, but in that division, it's I don't know, man. I'm just thankful to be in the NFC North where things are a little bit more fluid.
Right.
It's not going to be for long.
To carry on, there's another part of that too. It's when all these owners think they can be Al Davis. They can't. Jerry Jones consistently fucks it up. The ownership in Arizona, they're look at why do you think that GM quit? Because he was forced to sign ownership one. Irsay, as crazy he is, like he's actually not a bad owner. Like he is crazy as Irsay's been. He gives his GM carte blanche. So there in Colts, you can at least say it's not that, even though the owner's freaking cuckoo, you might say, the owner makes good football calls and lets his GM do his thing. But you look at Arizona, the owner's all over that GM. Yeah. You're going to sign Murray. You're going to make this trade. You look at Jerry Jones in Dallas. He's all over. His footprint it's these owners. It's the owners getting involved. Like Virginia McCaskey does not tell the GM what to do. The Packers, you know why they do well every year? Because they don't have a fucking owner to sit there and say, you're going to do X. They have a GM.
Yeah, and that brings up the next interesting point. When Jordan Love turns out to be the dollar store version of Justin Fields, who gets fired first in Green Bay?
Look, Rob, we don't have to worry about that.
Hey, Jordan Love, if he's a good game manager, man, that Packers team, they got the talent still.
He's going to the Jets in 2032 or something like that.
Yeah, good call, John Gordon.
I say they should fire Bill, the Packer fan. He's supposedly an owner. I think he's shitty at his job. Bill, you suck.
I also heard that Rob hit the waiver wire today. They were asking for a bag of hot Cheetos.
Oh, shit.
The thing with Jordan Love, when they drafted Jordan Love, I mean, if you think about it, I said it back then, the drafting of Jordan Love was a very smart call by the Packers because they figured at that point, Rodgers was probably going to have 2 years left and either retire and trade because we were already getting Rodgers drama back then. And they figured, well, we could draft Jordan Love at the end of the first round. He can have 2 years or so to sit behind Rodgers and then take over. Well, the only flaw in their plan was Rodgers just stuck around for 2 extra years.
Well, 2 MVPs and then.
Greg, bro.
It was kind of hard to separate from Rodgers, but now they're in a situation where Rodgers has made it untenable and is almost forcing the separation. So if Jordan Love goes out there and he's the worst quarterback in the league, no one in Green Bay is getting fired over that. Because first off, they drafted him 3 years ago, right? and they're going to be like, oh, okay, well, we'll just need to move on. I don't think anyone gets fired over Jordan Love.
Well, what's going to happen is because Murphy's job is done in 25. He can't.
Mm-hmm.
The thing the Packers got, he's done. So I think they'll ride it up to that time, and then just okay, we're going to boom, blow it up, and redo everything. You know what I mean?
Hey, so let me jump in on this real quick, man. So, hey, I give Packers fans a lot of shit, man. But let's keep this all the way real, man. If you ask some casual person off the street, name 5 NFL teams, usually you'll hear the Packers name in there, man. This is a historic franchise that has been so much to the NFL and just everything it brings in. You know what I'm saying? The fact that for the last 3 years, you've had one player gripping your franchise by the balls and you guys are just hanging on to it, I think is disrespectful to your franchise, because you know what? You would never see this happen with the Steelers. Mike Tomlin, you're going to get super deep on us? Deuces, out the door, man. And you look at that, Cowboys, a little bit. Jerry Jones, a little too hands-on. But like the Niners, if you think the moment you think you're bigger than the franchise, you're out the door. And the fact that the Packers have allowed this and tolerated for this so long, I kind of look at it as a shame for your franchise. Look, Aaron Rodgers, I'll come out and say it, is all-time great, but the fact that he has held your franchise in check and no one has kind of come out and say anything until really this year, I see a split in the Packers fan base. It's really just a damn shame, because it's no longer about your team winning championships. It's about what this guy under center is going to do. And let's be real, even though he's an all-time great, the man's got you one fucking ring. He's not a legend. He's not Peyton Manning. Exactly. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not Joe Montana. I'm sorry, you guys. Like it's not there, and it's not looked upon like that.
So did not give him a lot to succeed.
Every year,
that's an excuse, Ken.
Every year,
if you watch the game, you saw any game we lost was when he didn't have the ball in his hand. If he had the ball, we
I'm not blaming it all on him, but come on, man. 15-1, back-to-back 13-3. Come on, man. I understand it's not all on him, and I'll give him a pass on that. But there are some times that Packers fans like to leave this out of the narrative. There's been some drives where it's been a 3-and-out, and he could not drive that ball down the field in clutch times, man. Like I said, I know it's not all on him.
I'll agree with it for this past playoff loss against the 49ers. He kept trying to play hero ball with Devontae and was missing the checkdowns. That one, I will give him that. If he would have made one of those checkdowns, we win that game.
Yeah, 30 passing yards to pass catchers not named Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones. Like, come on, man. And like I said, it's nothing offensive. I just, for me personally, looking from an outsider's point of view, the fact that he's got your fucking franchise like this and all you fans are just hanging on, watching the balls get gripped is just unreal. To me, it's unreal. You guys are a historic franchise who allowed this player to do his thing for too long. Being a Lions fan,
you haven't really had too much of a quarterback besides Stafford.
I agree. Okay. I'll be the first to tell you. Absolutely agree.
And that's not nothing against you. It's just you haven't had that star power.
I agree.
We've been spoiled.
Ken, that's a bad argument.
We absolutely have.
There you go, John. That's the real truth. Tell the truth, John. Don't you some spoiled motherfuckers?
It's going to continue it.
That's what we're hoping.
Worst
you guys.
Ken just
that look has run out, buddy.
The most homerism argument ever. Oh, well, look how bad your team's been. Dude, there's a reason why Greg
okay, I'll go next.
For it. Because look, when did Gutekunst take over as GM?
3 years ago.
Okay, 3 years ago. What else happened 3 years ago?
We were 6-9-1
LaFleur, right? LaFleur comes on the scene. So there's a reason why you got everything. So hold on, John. Hold on. Let me. I'm going to walk the dog for you. Here's the reason why Rodgers was able for the last 2 years to hold your team by the gonads and say, "I'm going to do what I want." When LaFleur comes in, brand new head coach, first head coaching job in the NFL. How is he going to come into Green Bay and say, "I want Aaron Rodgers out"? You know that was never going to happen. He doesn't have the tenure.
Why would he want that?
Stature. He didn't have the power to do so. Gutekunst comes in as GM. He didn't have the power to do that as GM when he first came in. Now, years into this, now they've got enough power in their base and everything else where they can say, "Aaron, you got to go." And fans like yourselves are going to say, "Hey, you know what? Maybe they're right." So for the last couple of years, they didn't have that intestinal fortitude and that power to actually kick Rodgers to the curb because there was nowhere
doing
in the hierarchy
why would you want to
structure.
get up that?
Yeah, I was gonna say he was winning MVPs then.
Yeah, you can't get up there.
You're not gonna kick him out the door at that point.
That answers
They
Greg's
gambled.
question.
They gambled and it fucked them really hard when they gave him $150,000 that contract. They fucked them.
That answers Greg's question though as to why have you let him do this? Because until now, your GM.
It's hard to go away from a guy that's winning you games.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the playoffs every goddamn year just about with him. Why won't you keep rolling?
Gotta ask Rodgers.
Because he's showing these
and they were actually
disrespecting
100% sure about being ready.
And
now they know for sure he's ready, and now they're ready to move on.
You guys see the breaking news, John? Carolina. You guys got to rewind it back some. You got to think they tried to be proactive about it. You got to think when Rodgers had those couple down years, that's why they went and got Jordan Love, bro. They thought Rodgers was about to fall off then. But he had a trick up his sleeve for their ass. Back-to-back MVPs. Now the leverage is back in my court. So now I'm back to doing what I want. I'm gonna I'm still do my diva stuff. But the thing is now. Finally, I think they're just coming there to say, hey, you know what, Rodgers, if you're not willing to restructure, we're dropping the hammer. We're finally dropping the hammer on your ass, buddy.
And good for them.
Okay, one thing about it, they could he has no trade clause, so they can actually trade him to the Jets. But he can say, okay, tell you what, you can't do that move until I do a contract, restructure my contract. Otherwise, you can't move me.
Yeah.
That's what he's got packaged by the balls.
That's why they're not going to be sending him to Houston.
and Ken, let me just give you an example real quick, man. So you look at the 49ers in the 80s and 90s, Joe Montana, beloved legend, loved throughout. In the end, they made the decision to trade Montana to the Chiefs because they believed in their younger player, then Steve Young, and gave that kid a chance, man. You got to do what's best for your franchise. I understand you got a legend in Aaron Rodgers and everything, man. But like I said, bro, like how long are you guys going to tolerate this? And it's been like that. And from all 31 fan bases looking out and in, like it's almost kind of laughable at this point, man. I pulled the trigger, and I'm a Jordan Love fan, man. I think the kid can do something, man. At minimal, you guys got great talent, and you ship him off. Recoup some draft capital as well as cap space. Now you can add additional pieces, man.
We've been drafting pretty good too. That's what's helping.
The most ironic piece, the best thing that could have happened to the Packers last season was the Detroit Lions beating them in the last game of the season, because that makes this whole Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, actually, it did us a favor. Tell you the truth. It did me a favor. I don't know what everybody else will say, but it gave me a favor because I want him gone last year.
Yeah, it was the best thing that could happen to the Packers because it gave the fan base as well an excuse to say it's time for him to move on. If you guys go to the playoffs last year and Aaron does it again and the Aaron mystique is still there, it's harder to move on from him. But by you guys losing that final game, it makes it easier to say it's time for Jordan Love.
Yep.
It's a
and then he better back it up. Go ahead, bro.
Yep. So the first loss from the Lions. Right after that, he kept on saying, well, his fingers, his ribs, and all that. I knew right then his throws were off. He wasn't thinking. I mean, he underthrew fucking Bakhtiari for a touchdown, but fucking Hawkinson came in and intercepted. Like that was just way underthrown balls. I mean, that whole game he threw 3 of them. It's like, dude, what are you doing? On the red zone. It's like, what are you doing? It's
Hey,
like,
John,
I wanted to move on.
you need a new quarterback.
Hey, Ken, can I ask you something, man? Because you seem really pro Rodgers. Do you have and it's a sincere question, not a troll question. Do you have some faith that Jordan Love can at least be a good game manager? I heard Bill yesterday, if he can come in there and be just a Jimmy G type game manager, because I like your roster, man. I'm not one of these guys on here just trolling, talking shit. I think you guys have a lot of good young talent. Are you of the semblance that if he can come in and be a Jimmy G type, you guys can win some games, possibly play for this division? Like, what is your stance on Jordan Love?
Oh, absolutely. I might be a Rodgers guy, but I don't hate Love at all.
Okay.
He's shown flashes, but for me right now, he hasn't shown anything that says, hey, I personally want to start him over Rodgers.
Okay. You want to see a full game of him.
That's a fair answer.
If I see his first game, he doesn't even have to win the damn thing. If he shows at least that he's grasping this offense and starting to put more pieces together, then I'm all for him. I'll root for the guy. I hope he proves to me that he's this great quarterback and he's just going to sling it. I love for him to make me look foolish. That way, I still win.
Yeah, no, right.
Realistically, though, what you know of Jordan Love now, I mean, he's been in the system for years now, so he should know this offense.
Yeah.
So realistically, wins you think you get out of him as a starter next year?
Oh, I'd say we're probably floating somewhere. Worst case scenario, I think the roster gets us to at least 7 wins, bare minimum again.
Agreed.
But I would realistically say like 9 with him. Just throwing it out there, not knowing too